Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure to like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, little known fact, there was an election that took place in Iowa last night. Not the most consequential election, obviously. It was a state house district in the state, but this was an open seat, and it was a seat that the Democrats have held on to for quite some time. At the state house level, that is. And the Republicans, a lot of people said that they were favored to narrowly win back the seat. John Dunwell is the same guy who ran for the seat last fall, and he fell short by around 3 or 4 points or so. However, last night, he won this seat by 20 points, which is an incredible shift from 2020. And yes, at the presidential level, this seat was more right-leaning in 2020. This was true. However, it was not as right-leaning as the result that took place last night. In fact, this seat went for Obama twice. It's one of those Obama-Trump districts, and Democrats hoping that they could win back some ground in the Rust Belt, and apparently that's not happening. This realignment that we're seeing is continuing. There are no breaks to this realignment. It is zooming fast. You saw what happened in the San Antonio area a couple of weeks ago, and we're seeing the same thing in Iowa last night. This district went for Obama by around 15 points or so in 2008 and 2012. He got 56% of the vote here. However, Donald Trump won this district by around 10 points or so in 2016. He got 53% of the vote. And the former representative won that year as well, the Democrat. And in 2020, Donald Trump won the district with 57%. He won it 57-42 or so. He won it by 15. Last night, that's a 5-point shift in the Republican column. Republicans won this seat by 20 points, which is incredible. And this is a realignment we're seeing. At Iowa, I think, is one of the ground zeros, because you had a state in 2012 even when a lot of the rural counties were either light red or light blue going for Obama. You have a state that's like 90% white or so. A lot of that is blue collar, and Obama won it convincingly both times. However, Donald Trump comes along and he changes it, and he not only flips the state back Republican, which a lot of people, even, in the election mafia, were saying Iowa and Ohio would have been the first dominoes to fall, but he wins Iowa by like close to 10 points. I don't think really a whole lot of people expected that to happen, and it happened again in 2020. We know what happened. Donald Trump, he put tariffs on goods, and a lot of people said the farmers wouldn't like the tariffs, and that's just not true. They rewarded him in the rural areas. They voted even more red than before, as you can see here. Obviously, the state in Des Moines, he lost some ground, and in the western Des Moines suburbs, but throughout a lot of, northeastern Iowa and southern Iowa as well, it got a lot redder. Jasper County, which partially has this district in it. I think there's 2 districts in Jasper County. This district is the more liberal one, actually. Jasper moved right in 2020 as well. In fact, Jasper County voted for Obama in 2008 by around a good 7 points. It voted for him in 2012 by also about 7 percentage points. However, right now it's a Republican stronghold and is probably going to be even more Republican. And the brakes are not going to stop now. And I think that a lot of people have this notion that the realignment is going to just stop, or Trump maxed out some of these rural areas, but I don't think that that's true at all. I mean, you look at a place like Jasper County where this happened. I mean, the average median income for a household in this county is $41,683. So it is very, very working class. It is 98% white. I mean, Republicans could easily be winning 75% of the vote here if they are able to play their cards right, which does tie into the last video I did, that there's so much ground that's being left off the table. Republicans should not be getting 60% of the vote in this county. They probably should be getting closer to 80% at a bare minimum if they knew what they were doing, and I think in the future they might as well. But what we do know is that there is a realignment that's going on, and there's also this notion that the election mafia has, and a lot of people even on the right have bought into this, that without Donald Trump on the ballot, even in a midterm year that is supposed to be a red wave year, that Trump voters will not turn out enough in order for Republicans to win, because the coalitions have shifted and Republican voters now have a lower average educational attainment that they did in 2010 or even 2014. And this is simply not true, and you're seeing this right here. As long as Donald Trump is the face of the party, in a midterm election, these people will turn out and vote. Now, in 2024, if Donald Trump is not the nominee, well, I mean, obviously, things might be a little bit different then because the national environment will be a lot different by then. And maybe these voters would be a little bit less energized to turn out at the rate that they did for Donald Trump. But in a midterm year where turnout is a little bit lower on both sides, Republicans are going to have no problem outperforming Donald Trump, even in some of these Rust Belt places. And you look at the other states that you have contested races in. And if you have a 5-point shift in a place like Iowa, and that doesn't count for any Republican reversion in the suburbs at all, because that's possible as well. You might see a point or two here. The bleeding will stop because it's an anti-Biden midterm. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. You have 3 governorships up for grabs that Republicans can flip. And you have 2 Senate seats that they need to hold. And honestly, I believe that it seems as if they will if this trend continues. If the national environment does move right by around 5 points compared to where it was in 2020, then yeah, Josh Shapiro is not going to stand a chance. He barely beat a nobody in 2020. He won by around 4 points or so. Put anybody up in Pennsylvania that's a half-decent candidate, and it will probably be tilt Republican or so. Gretchen Whitmer is going to be in trouble. I already think Tony Evers could be on his way out. I think he's arguably the most vulnerable Democrat governor incumbent besides Laura Kelly in the state of Kansas. So we see this here, and obviously the Sun Belt as well, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, a lot of close states. And those states have Senate seats that Republicans are going to be trying to flip. And these were razor-thin states in 2020, Nevada of which actually trending Republican, to the point where if the national environment moves right just a tad, they're going to have the opportunity to flip all 3. And Republicans are doing great with fundraising, too. Herschel Walker's raising like $1 million already, and he announced, like a month or 2 ago? That's incredible. And it's going to continue. You can't stop the realignment from happening. It's true. It's going to happen. I mean, you look at these numbers in this district shifting down ballot, which is huge because obviously Trump won this district by around 15 points. But the shift we're seeing is down ballot. Obviously, yes, the incumbent was relatively popular. You could say, I would assume so, to outperform Joe Biden by 15 points or so. Yeah. But beyond that point, the same Republican ran again, down ballot. Republicans down ballot in a place like Iowa aren't arguably going to do as well as they would with Donald Trump at the top of the ticket, but last night that didn't happen, and John Dunwell won by 20 points. And I don't really know much about John Dunwell as a candidate. I'm assuming that he's probably more of a run-of-the-mill type, but either way, it's incredible to see that shift. And this is all about Donald Trump. It's all about how he remade the Republican Party. It's also about how the Democratic Party's direction has gone from one that actually attempted to serve the interests of the working man to one that would rather waste their time promoting race warfare and serving the mega corporations and the global elite. And we're seeing this here, and Donald Trump represented the rise against this. And definitely the outsider politics plays very well in the Rust Belt, plays very well in a place like Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, obviously. And this is only going to continue. Like I say, Republicans are leaving quite a bit off the table, and that needs to stop. But either way, I do believe that these red trends that you saw in the 2016 election, these are going to continue in 2024, I firmly believe, because there's a lot of room in a lot of these rural counties, and you're seeing this continue in a place like Iowa. Iowa should be a R+20 state. There's no excuse for it. I mean, it's a very rural state. Des Moines is obviously a Democrat stronghold, but even then, I mean, the county still is not netting the Democrats a ridiculous amount of votes. Des Moines County netted Biden around not even 40,000. I mean, a lot of these counties add up significantly, and Republicans still net a lot of votes out of places like Sioux City. They net a lot of votes even out of Dubuque, and there's a lot more votes potentially to gain in some of these smaller cities as well. So Republicans should be in good shape for the midterms at this rate in the Rust Belt. There was that worry that Trump voters would not turn out if Donald Trump is not on the ballot, even if it's supposed to be a Biden midterm, because apparently they have a lower average educational attainment than Republicans in years past. That didn't happen. So that's kind of the takeaway from this that I say needs to be analyzed the most. But other than that, this realignment is not stopping. It is going to continue. And Democrats are going to be rolled over at this rate in 2022, especially in the Rust Belt, which might doom their chances at retaking the Senate and might doom them a few governorships in the process, as well as some House seats that will doom Nancy Pelosi's future as Speaker. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.